damage that you have. So that's why it's very beneficial to just spam this one item over and over and over again. I haven't even fixed my preparation.
Good times.
Because of that, but it seems like we're going to go back into game right now once again. Kingdom Esports playing a bit slightly behind right now. The Uranus and the Farsight immediately getting banned off right off the bat. Uranus is something that Drin Sanity did play, and he kind of respects the power of that Uranus.
Completely off topic, but since we are on the topic about Holy Crystal, remember you mentioned right the special property, the unique skill is the more magic power you have, the more you get, right?
Yep.
So remember there was this point in time where when you play, what was that?
Edith.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there.
Yep, Edith. Strong guy. Just built a huge chunk of physical defense, and it just so happens that Blade Armor have the most amount of physical defense, and then you convert all of that because of your ultimate, and then because you have a lot of magic power, you increase it even more with your Holy Crystal, and then with back then it's called Calamity Reaper, but it's now
Starlium Scythe.
Starlium Scythe, yeah. So all of that magical damage converted into true damage. So you actually one-shot people with a single basic attack. I love that.
Yeah, I just wish I was better with numbers.
It was fun.
It was fun times.
It catches people off guard in ranks so much. They weren't expecting that.
Because I saved my nation from falling apart.
Get to see the Yushin get banned out by the side of Kingdom Esports. I really don't want to see the Yushin anymore because it's really...
but Lancelot is taken out too.
Yep, I think it's just literally what I called the Scorched Earth tactic. So expect other junglers popping up. I want to see more Hayabusa. Yon also well known for playing the Fanny as well, so I'm not too sure whether I want to respect that. But especially in this particular meta, there's so many CCs, right? Once you have your Bravest Warrior coming out, the Lapu coming out, you also got your Bidang to also look out for. Ash has shown that he plays the Moskov. I think Fanny first phase pick is not
reporting for duty.
I do like myself a Arlot, to be fairly honest, and RSG can actually set themselves up for that Arlot pick. Quite a bit of crowd control that they can actually add into the mix if they want. If the Farsight is taken away, so in terms of XP and of course roam is rather flexible. You can play for the Arlot. Since CC is taken away, there are quite a bit of options that you can actually play into the EXP lane. So having an Esmeralda, that's fine too, since Uridah is taken out.
I personally feel that in this particular patch, the Esmeralda, unless you're winning lane, you're not able to provide
literally
much,
invented one.
Even as a Lapu, even if you're losing lane, your Bravest Warrior was still able to stun. As a glue, you're still able to possess somebody and then drag somebody and pick somebody out of position. Think about Lapu. Here you go. From the side of RSG, it's going to be Taurus piloting this particular Lapu. Hoki will go back to a chip for getting the opting for the Franco this time.
Yep, so there won't be any form of flexibility between Lapu since Yushin is already out of the picture. So we know for sure that it is going to be a roam chip as well as an XP Lapu. So not much diversity or not much vagueness in the draft as for now. For Kingdom, they have quite a bit of options now that they already know who they are facing off in the XP. They can pick up an Esmeralda pretty effectively. But they have decided to go for Alice and a Gacha.
Oh, that's a lot of massive AoEs, right? Especially when you could, as Lozi on the Gacha, you're able to support... Wait, hold on. I don't think so. I don't think you'll bring a Alice to the jungle because your passive doesn't really work well with jungle creeps. But Alice has proven a lot of worth in other regions, right? And that's also Alice is also the one hero that literally brought Ignite Gaming that win, right? When Utah was playing it against Team Flash.
So moving on forward, R3 pick coming in from RSG. They might want to focus a bit of the mage at this point. They can go for more utility, such as a Juicin in this case, or if they want to have a little bit more firepower, they have to wait for later on.
Your team is banning
Hayabusa.
Yeah, Hayabusa counter picked away, in my opinion, from the side of Yon. And if you talk about mid laners that I feel if Kingdom Esports want to look out for, definitely is the Lunox, right? Lunox could shred the Gacha very easily, could shred over the Alice, dodge the Alice's ultimate as well in the Brilliance. RSG takes away the Friend Raid instead.
Okay, so The fact that they took away Fredrin kind of seems as though they just want to whittle down the amount of heroes that Yawn can potentially play.
Oh yeah, okay.
Actually, can Alice go to jungle?
Yeah, that was the idea that I was kind of floating because Alice in the mid lane can look very scary as well, right? You got more minions to absorb the HP away from, wave clear very quickly, and then move on. You got mobility to gank the side lanes as well. Controversial opinion in my opinion.
Is banning.
Yeah, but instead it was Kingdom Esports that takes away the Lunok. I
Time
agree
to
with
drop
that
the
one.
beat
That's
of the
one of the
flash.
heroes they're really
Is
weak
banning.
against. But there's also another thing that you also have to consider, Abstract. Chip goes in with the ultimate. Alice just easily falls out with the ultimate, right? So easily.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a very easy counter for the side of Kingdom Esports.
That also means that if they really want to find a way to, get kind of like a get out of jail free card,
vengeance
at least they can
incarnate.
play with a Law E. Law E plus Chip combination can still be a very scary one for RSG, and they still have got ways to, right after the shortcut, they can always just pop off somewhere else. Good engage, disengage, great way to stop KE from trying to huddle up together, given that they have a lot of area denial skills coming in from them because of Gadokacha and the Alice.
I'm thinking if you don't go for the Loi, there's also a potential Yeve pick, right? But I feel like we're looking at
I
how
think because
RSG
there's already Gadokacha, I don't like that.
True. So which means that you don't open until you see the Gadokacha. But looking at how RSG has been drafting recently, this is where
It is in
they like to make
despair
Ashes
that I see
Your
the
team
heroes.
is
There you
fondest
go. That's going to be a
Natan,
Nathan
no.
going into the gold lane.
Okay. Wasn't really expecting the Natan coming in, but
Shredder.
yeah. Okay.
Burst, Shred,
Burst Shred.
collateral damage like what a Kimi likes to do. You've already got a Hayabusa that's contributing into physical damage, so I'm not too surprised as well. And if you're Kingdom Esports right here, I think if you want to go something even crazy, an Akai or even a
That sounds
Claude
crazy.
is actually quite fun. For
That
the
will
side of
be
Kingdom
a
Esports.
very expensive lineup.
It is.
Very, very expensive. Especially since RSG, they can actually pop off a lot earlier in the
Maybe
game.
not.
And the scarier thing is that RSG haven't even showed their mid
The
lane.
dead exist in the
really...
past.
Oh my god.
Your team is
to the future.
Pause one Ling.
All right. Okay. Same idea. The Ling does have iframes, exactly what
No one can take
Lancelot
it from
would like
me.
to do. The Ruby to make sure you hook somebody right back into the Alice's ultimate, or be it the Gadokacha ultimate. Traction Pulse, make sure everything sends there. Kingdom Esports feels like they're really overloading their toolbox with this one.
It is still a relatively expensive lineup,
Definitely.
but still they should be able to do decently in the early phases of the game still. Can they siege well? That is the question. They do have ways to kind of hop around, and at least whenever you look at a Hayabusa, I think it makes very good sense that you're going up against a Hayabusa, it makes total sense to pick up a Ling yourself so that they are in a 1v1 context,
outshines
you
the
can't just
golden
go
crown.
down to that Ogi Shadow kill.
Yep, there's going to be an Odette coming in for the side of RSG. Once again, Zone Denial is the way to go, right? Like, yes, Alex can go in with the AoE ultimates. You also got the Ruby as well to basically lock everybody in the Gadokacha. But once your Swan Song comes out from the side of Odette and also the passive just keeps bouncing around, that's a lot of damage that the Odette can just output in this small little span of time.
I do kind of like the early game wave clear that RSG have got for themselves. That will allow the gold laners, that will allow the mid laner to influence the XP and gold quite a bit. Especially since they would probably want to give some assistance over to the gold lane. It is a Ruby going up against a Natan.
Okay. Okay, a Ruby actually scales faster in terms of as compared to a Nathan, but the ceiling of scalability for a Nathan is so much higher as compared to a Ruby, right? Because the Ruby is constantly going to get juked down and even busted down by the Nathan if the Ruby sidesteps incorrectly. But that only happens in this ultra late game. Nathan takes a long time to build. Therefore, RSGSG needs to hold. They have a very strong mid game. They have a decent, not as very strong mid game. As compared to Kingdom Esports, they have a weaker mid game, but still considerably strong. But when it comes to ultra late game, Ash and Murphy were just melt anybody in the vicinity.
I'm mostly concerned about how they're going to be funneling the kills over to Ash in order to accelerate his growth a lot further, because they don't really have a very good way of crowd control, right? The most amount of crowd control that we see is Bravest Warriors from Lapu Lapu and the chip itself.
Up, PTB up. Ooh, the Shadow brings him all the way back, but that's gonna be a bit of an awkward position for the side of RSG right there.
It's still pretty much okay, despite the fact that they managed to send Hayabusa all the way back home. That is a small amount of inconvenience that will be applied over to the junglers of RSG. In terms of the other jungler for Kingdom, they have decided to run all the way into the opponent's jungle, steal one of those beetles, and head themselves right back into their own jungle. So that's definitely a little bit more farm that will be credited over to Yon. By the time it comes out of the jungle at the same time as the Hayabusa, they are both going to be at level 4 at the same time with a tad bit more XP to Yon.
Yeah, but as compared to a Ling, Hayabusa takes Hayabusa scales faster, right? Yon, the benefit of being a Ling is that you can traverse from one place to another very quickly. Well, technically this time around is dangerous grass. Imagine if this is like what, expanding rivers or something. Ling would just jump from one place to another. It doesn't really require the jump. You could just run there, saves all energy, jump to a wall, and then after that he could just like dash for days.
Turtle and Mitty going up against the Kimi. The entirety of RSG, they still don't have a shortcut that they can play around with as of yet, but Hoki, he's still one entire level away, so not much of a special gaming that we can see just yet, and I will say the same thing for the God of Kacha.
Drisani does have the ultimate ready go. He will be trying to use it right now. Murphy goes all the way into the ultimate, and look at Drisani melts right down. The shadow kill right there doesn't able to finish the job right there. The turtle will be forgotten, but Yon picks up Hoki instead. Yon looking for more, looking at Murphy right here, goes into Temples of Blades, jumps around, picks up 2-4 blades, and jumps back to the turtle easily.
Yep, Kingdom Esports didn't even lose anyone at all, picks up 2, and also manages to pick up the turtle. No problems at all, great value that will be able to send them all the way to about 1,000 gold lead on top of RSG. A good way to further accelerate the growth of how expensive this draft is.
Yeah, great start, right? Especially if you're a Link. If you're a Link player, this is exactly how you want to start every game with. Picking up 1 kill, picking up 1 assist, goes ahead with the turtle. Yeah, PTPL right now has to play a little bit behind. And Hayabusa, like what I mentioned, should have a better scaling as compared to Yon in the early game.
But in terms of mid-game prowess, FMM onto the Kimi should have a better time than Murphy, because I would say that Odette is also another hero that is quite item dependent. You can, of course, pop off the Swan Song and hope that you do enough damage, but it's more so of a zoning tool in the early stages as you slowly pop their HP down, but it's nothing too life-threatening until you're able to get items such as Light Sundian as well as Holy Crystals.
We talk about the gold lane right now, right? Ash, if you notice, is playing underneath the turret, but he's able to absorb quite a bit of a gold plating away from Grant. Not too sure how that happened, but in terms of EXP-wise, Grant is still ahead.
2-0. The game is slightly slower. They're not exactly wanting to jump themselves straight into battle time and time again. Ash did manage to pick up the Feather of Heaven for himself, so that is one step closer to be able to really deal with Grant. I don't think that is quite enough to really just push Grant away, but hey, at least he does have range control against the Ruby, but Ruby can, of course, regenerate back, and of course, poke you as well. That's what makes Ruby such a great contender in the gold lane too.
Yeah, there's a few fighters or EXP laners that are suitable for the gold lane, right? Lapu Lapu is one of them. Ruby, I think it will be a close second, because Ruby does have the regen to basically fight against your gold laners, right? Another fighter as well in my books, definitely Paquito. It's very annoying to deal with Paquito, especially when you're late game, right? Paquito just slapped you twice and then all of a sudden you just couldn't do anything.
Especially since we are talking about dangerous grasses. Yeah, right? Dangerous grasses actually really enable the Paquito. But it's been too long since we last seen that, and it seems like it was forgotten. Oh,
Hokey Flicker tries to aim onto FMM, literally for the side of RSG, pouring everything they've got onto FMM, deletes him right off their bat. There's one main damage dealer for the side of Kingdom Esports already gone. Insanity goes all the way in. Murphy gets caught in the awkward position, but don't forget, Yon can do a lot of damage as a Link as well.
That is Kingdom Esports now. They will be able to once again get a good priority over the turtle. I don't think that Taurus as well as PTBL will be able to do anything from this point onwards unless PTBL is trying to look for an avenue for a quick little steal. However, PTBL is currently at level 7 as compared to Yon at level 9. So in terms of the retribution battle, is nowhere close to be able to close that out.
Yeah, if you notice, Yon identifies that one, right? Decides to actually snag most of the farm away from the side of his gold laner, because technically speaking, Grant doesn't really need as much items. Ling is the one that needs more.
Ling wants farm, man.
Yeah.
As much farm as possible. In fact, give the middle lane farm to him, give the XP, give the gold, everything for him.
I think FMM definitely needs one. But if you notice, FMM has been constantly checking that push by using a second skill. PTBL tried to steal the turtle instead, but the shadow will not be able to land. Will be giving the turtle over the side of Kingdom Esports. Insanity picks up PTBL instead, and now RSG Singapore has to run away. Their jungle forfeited over the side of Kingdom Esports.
They are losing ground, and unfortunately, they are also going to be losing the middle lane T1. I would probably say the same thing for the top lane, but at least the Lapu Lapu is there. A little bit of a trade-off though, as we do also have Ash that actually made his way down to the bottom lane to take down the T1 turret. But in terms of importance, middle lane T1 is so much more beneficial.
Oh, just look at Grant. Look at what he's doing, landing down the shortcut as well, calling the mess of time. Bemba for the side of RSG Singapore, Hokey down slow just a little bit. Swan Song just running out of damage, killing off most of the members of the side of Kingdom Esports. Insanity, the only one alive.
That's big. A very reckless drive-in from Hokey drops down that shortcut, and RSG immediately went to town with it. And Kingdom Esports pretty much know that they are all screwed, but they are not going to just give up that easily because they still have some fighting chance in them.
Look at the smooths coming out from Yon right there, dodging the bravest warrior from the side of Taurus. Murphy forced to burn the flicker away. That's important information given over the side of Kingdom Esports, and now, yes, it is Kingdom Esports that have a solid early game, and remember now, you give kills like that over the side of RSG Singapore, the Nathan's starting to do a lot of damage, and also the rest of the team.
I would still say that despite the fact that we are looking at both teams being expensive, do note that even as a marksman, as a Nathan, you are still gonna come off online earlier than a Link, and the reason why that is because magic items are generally cheaper. Remember that, and you pop off a lot faster as well as with each items that you bring in. Especially you gotta have to deal with some of these frontliners. RSG definitely front to back. They have a good mix of magic damage as well as physical damage that Kingdom Esports really have to take themselves into.
Yep, got the spot right here. This is going to be the first one. RSG Singapore, on the other hand, they tasted victory already. A few steps closer towards winning the first match in MPL Singapore, and they look really hungry for it right there, right? Look at how Hokey just basically jumped onto FMM. We'll be able to kill him once earlier just now. Can easily bring in the nuke with the help of Murphy as well.
But can they close out the game? That's the question. I think that ultimately items and economy will speak for itself. Kingdom Esports still have got the gold advantage though. So I'll still like to believe that Kingdom Esports, they will be able to do a pretty good job, but it also depends on who's the one that has the money.
Oh, Murphy immediately gets deleted, and all of a sudden Hokey doesn't look really scary anymore, and that's what Kingdom Esports wants, right? Small little pick-off, whereas RSG thought they're itching up for a Lord fight. Kingdom Esports takes their objective elsewhere. Ash once again takes down side turret as if he's playing Moscow.
Completely neglected. While Kingdom Esports focuses onto the Lord, it seems like RSG, they are preparing themselves for a showdown. It is going to be a 5v4 because Murphy is going to be a little bit late for the party.
Insanity popping down, the ultimate allowing Hokey at the same time. Hokey's shortcut will be gone very much soon, but FMM will be able to take down Ash. FMM down low just a little bit more, and it's just going to be the Alice holding on as much. Murphy using the Swan Song just to try to escape, but Insanity is following onto Hokey, and Yon tags onto Hokey as well, picking up a double kill as well. and the Lord ultimately goes over the side of RSG Singapore though.
It's unfortunate, but hey, wait, hold on a second. PDPL is not over. As him himself, as well as Taurus, wants to go for a little bit more. They picked up one over to Lozi, while Drinsanity is still in the mix.
Yeah, definitely right. He's more than happy to basically pick up the fight like this one. There's a lot of the jungle creep that he can actually rely on his passive to constantly proc.
That did absolutely nothing to Drinsanity.
Of course.
Damn.
Yep. That's why Alice is so prized, right? But unfortunately for the side of Kingdom Esports, right? RSG Singapore still secures the Lord for now. But RSG Singapore, they're looking for any form of pickup right here. Look at how Hoki is just jumping onto Drinsanity right here. Brings in Murphy with a swan song at the same time. Taurus fights underneath the turret. It doesn't really matter as Yon jumps all the way into Temple of Flame, but there's nowhere to run because Ash has already farmed up. He's able to melt him all the way down. Now Drinsanity leading the charge just a little bit. Shuts down Taurus, picking up a double kill at the same time. And now RSG Singapore leading the charge with the Lord. They crack open mid.
As much as I would like to say that Drinsanity is one heck of a raid boss that is difficult to kill, ultimately RSG still have the real raid boss up in the top lane that is managing to clear out the wave and putting the pressure down onto Kingdom Esports. And of course, despite how tanky Drinsanity can be, there is someone that can truly shred on the opposite side, and that is going to be Ash. This guy will stay alive for a long period of time unless Yon manages to find his way to scoot himself right in to be really comfy onto Ash.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, you know, Kingdom Esports, remember what I talked about, the power spikes, it's around the early and mid-game, and now it's starting to swing all the way back to RSG. Just take a look, you've got your Genius 1 already, the glowing staff, and if you take a look at what Ash has already built himself, haha, speak of the devil. Holy Crystal already on top of the Wind Talker. He has a lot of movement speed and also attack speed. That is exactly what a healthy Nathan needs.
Honestly, aside from Nathan, I want to look at Odette. Odette has such massive ground that they could cover. And the moment that you are able to just pop off the Swan Song with no one being able to stop you, because you will only be disrupted by high-level control effects. And I think that in this case, it will only be Lawsy's taunt. Yep. And I don't think that knockups is counted as a high-level crowd control. So it should only be Lawsy's taunt.
There's also an I'm offended for the side of Grants, right? It takes
That's just a stun, so it doesn't help.
I'm offended is a displacement.
Displacement... I don't think displacement helps.
Yeah, well, anyways, you saw Grant and Yon basically need to tag team just to take down Murphy. You know, we talk about how Alex can set out this no-go zone with the ultimate. Same could be said over side of Murphy, right? But this no-go zone actually does a lot of damage. And I think what RSG Singapore identifies that with Murphy on this Odette. And now it's all about Hoki, you know, sending Murphy using that Swan Song onto the right target as well. If that Swan Song lands onto a weak person, like, oh, hold on. Yon deletes off Ash.
Oh no.
That's a massive pickup.
Yep, that is huge. And now without Ash, there is gonna be no way that they will be able to defend against Kingdom Esports and especially even take a proper fight against the Lord. They have about 30 seconds to really make this work out though, because RSG, even if they were to hover around, they still have a chip that can create a shortcut and bring Ash right into the battle if they so truly want to.
Yeah, this is such a very scrappy matchup, right? Like, Kingdom Esports is actually making quite an interesting few blunders. Same could be said over the side of RSG, and now Yon taking down the Lord this time for once. Hopefully this time it's a very different result as compared to game number 1.
They can still shred the Lord very easily though.
Ash.
Yeah.
Ash can shred it very
can shred it very easily.
Yeah, the first tier turret for the side of RSG Singapore down bot is still up.
It's untouched. It's completely untouched, but finally they're gonna touch it. But it's not them, it's the ballistas. Winions. Yep. Damn, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, especially late game, and that's like super minions marching down. I think the super minions is gonna make quick work on the bottom. Take a look. I don't think members of the side Kingdom Esports is not interested onto that one. It's actually a naturally pushing lane. In fact, there's a lot of standing goal that Kingdom Esports will abuse attraction poles to basically zone away the rest of the members for the side RSG. Bravest Warrior coming up from Taurus though, trying to make a play right here, trying to defend and protect and try to wave clear as much as possible. Drinsanity goes into the passive already, and Taurus has to get out there. The Lord is chunking down low just a little bit more by the side of Nathan. Lozy down low as well as RSG Singapore just basically defense against the attack from Kingdom Esports.
I like the fact that RSG is not very trigger, finger onto that fight, right? Because they had a lot of opportunities to just jump in and go for the fight, but the main thing that they wanted out of that is to just bring down the Lord and have a proper reset, because they want a proper fight somewhere else, not right there with a big Lord and bunch of creeps just marching onto them, because they don't necessarily have very strong wave clear the moment some of these key players goes down. So all they want to do, wave clear, deal with the naturals, then they will deal with the heroes.
Yeah.
And Kingdom Esports, they understand, right? Once they lost all the naturals, then they might as well just go back home.
Yeah, I mean, it was a speed run for the side of Kingdom Esports, right? Just rushing down the side lanes. And RSG Singapore left only just one base turret all the way back in the bottom lane. And now they need to try to abuse this dangerous grass, right? Because this is where, you know, Hoki could just appear anywhere, start ganking onto FMM, and start ganking onto perhaps Yawn as well. Send Murphy over there to basically start to do some weird assassinations.
With the top lane and the bottom lane completely destroyed, there's only a single turret down in the bottom lane for them to really work with. Luckily for RSG though, the Lord is all the way at the top side. So there wouldn't be a natural pushing lane down in the bottom lane. They don't have to be too concerned about a prolonged Lord's dance that will generally go against their favor.
Wow. I mean, Yawn can always jump all the way bot, fix that wave, and then after that start jumping back to the Lord pit all the way up.
I mean, they do have Hayabusa too, so that they can kind of work with.
So if you notice, both of these two teams, I'm sure, is just focusing around the bottom part. I feel like both of them is reading each other like a book. So it's about who picks off who first. But the positioning of Hoki, that chip, is definitely going to be the main highlights, right? He can be anywhere, especially on the dangerous grass.
Speaking of anywhere, that's exactly what Hoki's doing.
He jumps onto using the ultimate, trying to bring the rest of the members from the side of RSG Singapore. Here comes Swan Song into the Winter's Crown, zoning into nothing. AOG from the side of Lozy will be jumping all the way back in and trying to output the damage using the ultimate and trophy. The shadow kill with good measure as well. The blue HP bomb on the side. Kingdom Esports slowly whittling down bit by bit. But Yawn will be able to turn around. Insanity giving everything up. And ladies and gentlemen, RSG a wipeout on the side of RSG Singapore, and Kingdom Esports pushes for the end.
That's the cleanup that I was talking about and I'm hoping for. Kingdom Esports now has gained themselves yet another lifeline as they manages to wipe out the entirety of RSG, getting themselves right out of the match point by prolonging themselves again into a 1-1 game.
You thought the members of the side Kingdom Esports have absorbed so much damage that they couldn't even do. Murphy was using the ultimate into nothing, and then all of a sudden it's just Lozy jumping into the AOG, and Jinsani just absorbed every single HP.
Okay, it is going to be pretty annoying of the Odette to just catch all 5 of us in this one song, so maybe that's the main reason why they have managed to get away and win the fight altogether.
Yep, MVP of the game, Jinsanity on this Alice.
No deaths.
No deaths at all. He's always playing. You thought he's gonna die very quickly, right? Especially that last team fight sequence, right? But then, you know, when everybody goes through the portal, everybody is stacked into one person. Gisette just identifies that, just jumps in, pops the passive. He's just like healing everything back up.
It's kind of annoying how Alice worked in this game. There's no point in trying to attack onto Alice. We'll see just how much damage he actually absorbed the entire time.
Yeah, but if you notice, it's also his emblem is also truly insane, right? Goes for the tank emblem, goes for Brave's Might, and also Festival of Blood. And if you notice, on top of what Jinsanity built on him, usually you expect Alice to build mostly tankiness, but he has what? Concentrated energy and Oracle as well. He's gonna be healing for days.
Ultimately, it's just gonna be an untouchable, unkillable XP laner. While in the meantime, RSG, as much as I really want to see that Ash is able to shred people down, it kind of seems a little bit difficult because they lack the crowd control to really enable Ash, which was my general concern when the game first started. They don't have someone that can combo together with Ash, and it's mostly all about kiting. It's all about, you know, ensuring that Ash have got good positioning. Because I think in the most of the time, Ash is just sitting, just standing somewhere else and away from the battle, being really afraid for the eventual appearance of Yon right in his face.
Yeah.
That's why he has to play his ultimate very, very defensively.
Yeah, and I think it's over-reliant on Hoki to basically set up the stakes, right? Using the ultimate to jump onto hopefully FMM, or I think the only person that Hoki could basically jump onto is FMM, right? Because if Hoki jumps onto Yon, Yon could just easily jump into the Temples of Blades and all of a sudden just jukes away. And for Hoki to get to FMM, being secured by Grand, secured by Lozy, and to a certain extent, Jinsanity could just go in and kill. Just take a look at the damage dealt. You were mentioning that you want to see the damage dealt by the side of Jinsanity. Just take a look, right? 54, one of the highest damage dealers from the side of for Kingdom Esports. And RSG, by the way, it is the Lapu Lapu and also Murphy that deals most of the damage as well.
73,000 damage from Taurus. God damn. Ash with 55,000 damage. And damage taken for Jinsanity, 140,000. Surprisingly, it's almost similar to Lapu Lapu. So,
Yep.
yeah.
EXP laners are the main damage dealers now.